Kia ora. Oh, there we go. Tēnā tātou katoa. Good evening, everybody. My name's Todd Toipa, and I'm going to be just opening our space for this evening. He mihi mahana kia koutou katoa. Good to see such a large crowd here this evening. Such an important process, our democratic processes, and I just want to celebrate and acknowledge the four candidates who'll be here today, and very shortly Tracy and Stefan, our facilitators, will bring them through. It's a valuable thing, democracy, and having four stand, it's not only great that they're showing leadership, but it also creates that accountability. We get to hear different perspectives, different ideas, and ultimately, whoever is successful, we hope that they are strengthened by this process. So thank you for everyone, for the venue, for those who have supported the organising of this space. He mihi nui kia koutou. So I'm going to open with a brief karakia, and then I will pass it to our facilitators to bring our candidates across. Nō reira, kia tau mai rā te Māori noho, te Māori tū, te Māori anuku, te Māori arangi, te Māori aio, te Māori aroha, te Māori a nā mātua tīpuna, kia tau mai rā ko te Māori ora. Haumi e, hui e, taiki e. Good evening, everybody, and enjoy the event. Tēnā tātou. Hara mai rā? Tēnā.
Ngā mihi, Todd, and good evening, everybody. My name is Tracy Mawhileo, and I'm a local Palmerstonian. I'm a director of Mana Pacific, and I also work for a university in Australia remotely.
Kia ora koutou, my name is Stefan Speller, and I'm born and bred in Palmerston North, very proud of it, and also a public servant here.
That's great. So, Stefan, I'm wondering if you could tell us what are 3 other jobs that you have done whilst living in Palmerston North?
You might learn something here. I think it would be childcare. I was a teacher aide for a time, and then I was a salesman at a lighting shop. Yeah. What about yourself?
Well, I used to clean the muesli machines at the sanitarium factory, and I've been an associate professor at Massey University and a social worker at Open Home Foundation.
And what do you like about Palmerston? What keeps you here?
I have to say I keep coming back to live in Palmy because it's where family is. How about you?
Yeah, very much the same. But I like that I have 4 kids, and I like that we can go to a park every single weekend, and we just don't seem to run out of good parks, which is brilliant. Yeah.
That's great. And I think we're all here tonight because we are committed to making Palmerston North a great place to live, keeping it a great place to live. I think we should invite our candidates on tonight. Do we do that?
Yeah, sure. We'll start out with Grant Smith.
Let's give them a round of applause. And then let's invite Caleb Riddick. Come on, Caleb.
All right. And Orfe McAlad.
And Michael Morris.
Right, do you want to take a seat once all the handshaking's done? It's a big ordeal, isn't it? All right, lovely. So in this debate, we wanted to give each candidate, we wanted to try and be a bit different than the other ones that have happened and give each candidate space to pitch for their vision and their unique interests and skills and answer questions that we've asked from the community and from the council and what we can get the best for our candidates.
Okay, so as the in-person audience, you get to have a little bit of participation, and you would have got some coloured cards when you came in, and each of the candidates have a colour, so we will explain that when we get to it. So for example, let me see your purple card. Hold up your purple card. Okay, so at the end of a round, if you really liked how Grant Smith responded to those questions and you want to cast your vote in terms of how those questions were answered for Grant Smith, you'll give her your purple card. Brown card, oh no, where are we? White card, right? And if you want to give your vote for those questions to Caleb Riddick, you'll show your white card. And for Orfe McAlad, your orange card. And have I got this right? And brown card, Michael Morris. Okay, that's you're going to have a little bit of participation later on.
I'm worried by how many people don't know orange. That was a real shuffle. Now, we will tell candidates and yourself at the start of each round exactly how much time they have. We also have a timekeeper down here, so when the bell starts really hammering, we're also going to start enjoying that question is well and truly over. Okay?
Okay, so the questions that are going to be asked of our candidates tonight were based on the pre-election report, which was published by the Chief Executive, independent of the candidates and the Mayor and the current councillors. The report highlights the state of play, opportunities and the financial picture. And we also asked the Council's Facebook page for ideas and themes to include, and that is what has guided the questions tonight.
Now, importantly, we are both independent of Council, and we were responsible for the collation and final summary of the questions. That was our negotiation to partake in this event, and that's what we've done. So we want to make very clear these are questions from the audience, from Facebook, and ones from the election report, so very much our ownership of that.
And just a little warning, we have some rounds of some fun questions and some direct questions as well. So I think we are ready to go.
Yeah. First of all, we're going to start with a 2-minute speech from each candidate. Now, we are going to start with Michael to start with. Yes, you can use this here.
Up to you.
This one's off, I'm afraid.
This one, okay. Kia ora koutou, ko Michael toko ingoa. My name's Michael Morris. I'm an environmental scientist, so I'm a professional conservationist. I'm working as an environmental policy planner for an iwi. So I do things like resource consents, environmental policy, making sure that those in the area are following both the Resource Management Act and the iwi values. Before that, I've been an animal rights activist. I actually founded the Animal Rights Party, the Animal Justice Party, Aotearoa, New Zealand, 3 years ago. And I am standing here to represent a group of marginalised people in society that, to my knowledge, no other mayoral candidate in the lower North Island is wanting to represent, and that is the non-human animals. So if elected, I will do my best for not only cats and dogs in Palmerston North, because I think they get a raw deal with animal control, but also the native animals and the non-native animals outside the urban area. My second policy is going to be, of course, the environment, because that is where my profession is. I want Palmerston North to be green, have a biodiverse city. I'm going to promote active and public transport as the environmental and friendly option. My third platform is going to be justice for human animals who have a hard time otherwise. So those who have less money, who are older or younger, and or recent immigrants, like my partner who is studying nursing, they really deserve representation too. So those are the people, human and non-human, that I want to represent if I'm elected. Thank you.
All right, Orphe, next up. Do you want this mic or the one?
Oh, sorry, I have this. Well, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Orphe Mikalet, and over the last 2 terms, I've had the privilege to serve you on the council as a city councillor. It remains an honor and a privilege to represent your priorities at the council table. I came to New Zealand in 2006 as a former refugee, studied here, worked here, before I went to Wellington to work as a policy advisor. I'm running for mayor because I believe that Palmerston North is at a turning point, and that we are in need of a change of leadership, direction, and approach. Palmerston North is facing mounting pressures from rising rates, housing costs, climate challenges, population growth, aging infrastructure, and also sweeping central government reforms. I believe that these issues demand not just leadership or management of the status quo, but leadership with a clear plan. With the cost of living biting hard, Palmerston North is increasingly becoming unaffordable for a lot of families. businesses, and residents on fixed incomes. I believe that more needs to be done to ease the burden on ratepayers and protect the things that make Palmerston North unique. Grounded in my Christian faith, lived experience, civic leadership, and a deep love for our city, I'm standing to offer practical forward-thinking solution or leadership that would deliver on Palmerston North's potential. As your mayor, I will review council spending priorities and deliver value for money for ratepayers. I will seek to diversify council's revenue streams and introduce targeted user pays for non-essential services to reduce the cost pressures on ratepayers. I'll also seek to proactively lobby central government to get the best investment deals for Palmerston North. I'll also seek to sell underused or underutilized council assets and some of our airport shares to pay off debt and reinvest in key infrastructure. I also believe that the city the size of Palmerston North doesn't require 16 elected members. So as a council, as a mayor, I'll also seek to propose that we reduce our, oh, is it time already? Vote all for me. Thank you.
Tēnā koutou. My name is Caleb Riddick, and I am standing for Mayor. First, I'd like to begin by saying thank you to all those involved for making tonight possible. And thank you to everyone here showing that you care for our city. Now, I could stand up here all night and talk about policies and numbers and what they mean and how I intend to change them. But I'm here to introduce myself. I understand that I don't look like your typical mayoral candidate, and that's fine. I hope I can change your mind on that, because I'm somebody who loves Palmerston North. I'm not a polished career politician. I don't want this job for 10 years. And I don't have big backers that I can afford to get billboards all around town and hand out 10,000 flyers. I'm real. I say it how it is, and I have hard work and a passion for my city. I get questioned a lot. What do I bring to council with zero council experience? Well, I've been a leader of people in government agencies for over a decade. I am a facilitator. I bring people together and I motivate them to get the best out of what we have and who we are. Now, I came to Palmerston North as an 18-year-old, and I've spent the majority of my adult life here. First, rugby league career, and then the army bringing me back. This is a city where I'm raising my family. My daughter, 3 years old, that I expect will still be here when she's 18. So I'm invested in this city, and I want to see a better future for all of us, no matter where you come from and no matter what you look like. So a vote for Caleb Riddick is a vote for leadership with common sense, the ability to view all situations unbiasedly, understanding the importance of critical infrastructure and making our city future ready. Ngā mihi nui.
Kia ora, I'm Grant Smith and I'm restanding for the City Mayoralty. I have a head for business, a heart for the community and a passion for our people in the city of Palmerston North. Yes, over the past decade, I have led cohesive councils that have attracted investment, built infrastructure and facilities and have significantly changed the face of the city, turning Palmerston North into a vibrant, energetic city of choice it is today. The economy, our infrastructure and our people are going to be my top priorities as we move through tougher economic times. So we must support pathways for our residents and our businesses. Palmerston North is lucky because it has many diverse peoples. And we now are regional New Zealand's most diverse city with over 140 different ethnic and cultural communities calling us their home. But it also has an extremely resilient and diverse economy, supporting many thousands of jobs. So steered correctly and through the current headwinds, we can make the most of our opportunities. A future-led council that I will lead will continue to focus on investing in key council infrastructure, with over 85% of our budget already being spent in this space. ensuring that ratepayers get value for money. And that is the key, rates, the value of rates. And always looking to improve council efficiency. I'll champion city and regional transport and distribution projects to Tanganui, the Central New Zealand logistics hub next to the airport. I'll push regional passenger and rail freight investments, along with O2NL, the Otaki to north of Levin Road Expressway, and the biggie for us locally, the Regional Freight Ring Road, along with the Central City's revitalisation. The Wyndham Hotel is an example at the old post office of the result of advocacy from the mayoral office. So, as Mayor, I will use all my experience, my independence and leadership to continue to put Palmerston North on the map. Re-elect Grant Smith, number 1 for Mayor. Ngā mihi nui, thank you.
Okay, now we're going to move into some direct questions, which is where you get to hear from the candidates on questions they have not yet heard. We are going to give everyone 30 seconds to answer, which is very, very tight, and you can stay seated. We're going to break this one up slightly to give a difference for our current councillors and our potential councillors, or potential mayors, rather. So I'll start. Could you hand that down to Grant, please? All right, so this is 30 seconds for each of you to answer. This first one is for Grant and Orphe. What have you achieved in your time on council, and how many campaign pledges and policies can you say you've delivered on?
Yeah, well, when I got to council, parking was a real issue. And the city centre had $40 tickets in those days. It then went down to $12, and we managed to get some time-based parking back into the city centre. So that was one pledge that I achieved. I really have focused hard on infrastructure. A lot of the councillors realise that infrastructure, you don't get votes for putting pipes under the ground or opening water and wastewater plants. So that is my focus. I really will be trying hard in that space.
Well, thank you for the question. Over my term, over the last 4.5 years that I've been on the council, I've been able to champion also multicultural ethnic causes on the council. And also, when I first campaigned on social housing, about the council actually retaining influence in social housing, I supported efforts to invest more in social housing, $14 million into the budget, into that as well. So that's one part of it, but there are many more other achievements as well that could go on and on, but time is up. Thank you.
Right. Yep, sure. So this question is directed at people who are not currently on council, so obviously slightly different. What is a council agenda item from previous minutes, reports, or something in the Local Government Act that you would want to highlight, and why?
I want to highlight the report from the meeting and the traffic port on Featherston Street, because that is quite controversial. And I looked at the research, and it appears to me as if since post-construction, there has been some delays, but there have been a lot less than people are saying. It's been sort of a few seconds. On the other hand, it's been a lot safer, and a lot more people have used the bikes and pedestrians.
Well, thank you. Great question. I'd like to think of one thing about 10 years ago, early in the incumbent mayor's career, of one of his initiatives of Palmy Proud. And that has really struck a chord with me. And one of the reasons why I'm sitting on this stage next to the incumbent mayor. Palmy is a proud city, and I believe that if the right direction and continue to move forward, we can make a city that everybody is proud of. Thank you.
Thank you for all those responses. If you can just pass the microphone to Michael. The next question, which every candidate will answer, is, starting with Michael, and then we'll move along. 30 seconds. How would you integrate sustainability into urban planning and economic development?
This is something that I've been doing my work in the iwi, and when we have a resource consent, we have a policy that the developer must not only leave the environment as it is, but must better it. So everything should be left better than when it started. I'd like to propose that for resource consents in Palmerston North.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
The question is, how would you integrate sustainability into urban planning and economic development?
I believe economic development and sustainability go hand in hand. You cannot have economic growth, you cannot have sustainability without, economic development without sustainability in the world that we're living in, especially with climate change challenges that we're facing at the moment. But also, the thing is that council is also doing a good job of this already in this space, because in terms of procurement policies, this is something that we require of all the contractors that we contract with, especially around urban planning or building streetscapes and that sort of thing as well. So, council is already doing a job in that.
Well, I don't believe I'll be able to do this one fully justice, but I believe moving forward, we need to move together with an economic mindset and our infrastructural mindset together at the same level. So a lot of the reasons why climate change is coming about is because of the economic environment that we have taken away from. If we can move that forward and bring it up while increasing our infrastructure, our city can move forward strong together.
Thank you. Look, great question. Orfe did touched on it. The council's already doing a lot of this work already. Two things: energy, and man, have we got an energy crisis coming. Gas is going to run out. We've got to do something around energy. So solar panels on top of every roof is a start. It's a way of getting it going. Second thing, stormwater. It's our biggest threat, flood. So we've got to encourage new developments to think about that rather than just sticking a big pipe under the ground. We've got to use wetlands, and an example of it is Tamakuku Terrace. It's created a reserve, and it's also taken away the issues of stormwater.
Thank you, candidates. We would like to give you an opportunity to vote for the answer that you like the best by raising those colours. If you'd like to do that right now, and show your card for 5 seconds, and if we can have the lights a little bit up so we can have a look. Thank you very much. Let's move to the next question, Stefan.
So we're going to go, if you could pass it to Grant, we're going to come back this way this time. Thank you. This is still 30 seconds. What do you think are the community strengths that Palmerston North has?
Oh, that's actually pretty easy. It's people. We're pretty humble, you know. No, we are. I think if you go to Hawke's Bay or Bay of Plenty, they want to be the best, the biggest, and the Turbos still beat them. Shouldn't say that, we're playing Bay of Plenty on Saturday. But seriously, no, it is our people, and we are diverse. I think in my lead-up I said we are diverse people. And the city of Palmerston North and the face has changed dramatically. We've got great people. We've got scientists, we've got Defence Force people, we've got healthcare workers, we've got retailers, we've got everybody. We're actually diverse, and it's a great city.
No, I couldn't agree more with Grant's speech. It is. People is the number one priority in any of our cities. If we can take care of our people, the people will take care of the city. And we have such a diverse range, and to make sure that everybody is welcome into the city and that we can work together, showing manakitanga, caring, generosity, treat others how we want to be treated. That's how it should be led from the top all the way through to the bottom. We are passing it on.
A great question. E tangata, e tangata, e tangata. It is the people, the people, the people. And I value Palmerston of its growing diversity. When I came here almost 20 years ago, and for me to just be here, present and running for mayor, it's something that's very unlikely in many cities in New Zealand because of the opportunities that Palmerston North has given me. And Palmy nurtured me to thrive. So the people and what makes Palmerston North great is the people, the universities that we have, the amenities that we have, and also the affordability of the city is what makes it even a better place to live in. Thank you.
I'd say it's the library. It's one of the best in the country. I had a look at all the 3D printing and the pattern making and all the crafts that you can do. Auckland doesn't have that. A lot of places don't have it. And related to that, all the community languages. including Karen. And I thought, these entitled people have their own language. But no, it's actually a Myanmar group. So, yeah, ethnic group in Myanmar. So, yeah, the diversity of languages and cultures.
It's not the answers we expected, I'll be honest there. We'll put the house lights down one more time, and we thought that was a good answer, good question, so we'll see what the people thought. Give us your flags. Oh, there's a bit more difference there. Okay. Can the candidates see well enough? Yes? Okay. I'm glad to see you've not picked the same colour second time, so see if we can get round the bunch. Lovely. All right, we'll have the lights back up. It is.
Okay, our next question, candidates. And Stefan, who will be starting this time? Starting with Orfe, okay? So the question is...
Make it easy, please.
With only one vote, meaning that if you are the mayor and it comes to a council meeting, you've got one vote, how will you foster collaboration amongst councillors who are representing multiple wards and diverse viewpoints to establish your own policies? I'll say it again because it's a long question. With only one vote, how will you foster collaboration amongst councillors representing multiple wards and diverse viewpoints to establish your own policies?
I mean, that's a very good question. I mean, the mayor is only one vote on around the council table. So one of the things that you have to do is just being a team player is important as a mayor, and also building and maintaining relationships around the council table. That's an important one. And also in the position of leadership, it's also positive influence and energy around the council table. I mean, I've been privileged to work around with some of the best colleagues in the country, my fellow councillors, and we've had a very collegial sort of relationship. And we do have different views and sometimes conflicting views, but we've managed to work it out to get the best outcome for the community.
See, that is a hard one because it is only one vote, but it's all about compensating. What can I get that I really need that you can also get what you need? It's not all about one person. It's about having all of your ideas brought to life, not just what the council decides. Everyone in the council should be going into their communities and really understanding what the people of Palmerston North need. Thank you.
I think you've got to understand other people's views too, and what makes other councillors tick. And Orfe is right. We've had a cohesive council in past years. We haven't always, come from the same position, but we do understand people's different views. The mayor must lead, and they must build a consensus. So they've got to have the facts. They've got to portray those facts in the chamber. And it is a debating chamber, so you have a chance to put your view across. Also, the mayor is like a team captain, and you've got to play that captain's role. So if you say you're going to do it, you've really got to do it.
Kia ora, I'm working in an iwi with people with very diverse views, but one thing we have in common is we want what is best for the iwi and for the planet and for tangata whenua in general. It would be the same with the council. I mean, I don't agree with all the council candidates, but most of them seem to have a genuine passion for Palmerston North, and I think we'd be able to work things out.
Thank you for the responses. And audience, if we can move to your vote in relation to the responses to that question. Raise your cards nice and high. Thank you. Thank you. We've got one more question in this round.
I would have to get a governance question in, so fair warning. The council is a governance body directing an operational organisation through your chief executive. How will you be accountable for the internal operational decisions, and what experience do you have that supports this? We will start with Caleb. Yes, thank you. Do you want me to read it again? Oh, yeah. Yep. So the council is a governance body which directs the operational organisation and operations through the chief executive. How will you be accountable for internal operational decisions, and what experience do you have to support this?
Oh, that's right. The chief executive, they do the running of the everydays from city to city. and then it is up to the mayor to add leadership. And being 10 years military, I learned all about leadership in some of the harshest environments and how to motivate people who do not want to do what they want to do. When it is cold and wet and you have to motivate your people to get up and continue pushing forward is one of the hardest jobs to do. You have nothing but your voice and the words that you say to be able to bring the team together and push forward for the better of everyone. Ding, ding, ding.
I think a bell's given in. What's going on there? Yes, Grant.
The ding-dings died. Look, you've really got to understand governance versus management, and as a governor, where you fit, and as management, where your CE fits. And in a council environment, you only have one employee, that's the CEO. You can't get involved in other staff. But you've got to drive the CEO to get the efficiencies, the outputs that you want. So that's where performance management comes in. And I'd have to say, we've been experienced at that. I've had board experience too with my sports career and business career and with cultural organisations. So I've been used to working with not only boards at a national level. Ding, 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 ding.
That's definitely the
All right, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
We'll repeat the question again. Can we just have some life support? What's going on over there? It's broken. Gosh.
Have any of the ladies got a bell in their bag?
All right, I'll read the question again. The council is a governance body directing an operational organisation through the chief executive. How will you be accountable for internal operational decisions, and what experience do you have that supports this?
I've been on the governance, the board of Save Animals from Exploitation, so I understand the difference between governance and executive. One of them sets policy, the others are the experts who actually do the job. It's the same with council. I'm a fan of Yes Minister, so I understand that there's often a fight between the minister and Sir Humphrey, the chief executive. Personally, I think the elected members should be the ones that should set overall policy, but we must listen to the staff because they are the experts as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause for round one questions. Oh, sorry. We'll give them a round of applause.
The forgotten one. Oh, I'm saddened. I think it's important because, like Grant said as well earlier on, the chief executive is the sole employee of who's accountable to actually us as councillors, and through setting measures and performance targets, we can hold the chief executive accountable for any council decision or processes as well. So usually people don't understand the governance side or the management side of council, and that's a question that I get a lot from a lot of residents because, especially around that. But we employ the chief executive who employs employees, and then we just hold them accountable through the chief executive performance review and other mechanism that we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Has everyone had a talk now? Great. Okay, we're moving into our next type of question, and we'd like to invite the candidates to raise to your feet and come and stand at the front. And we have up here, behind you gentlemen, a continuum. 0, strongly disagree, right up to 100, strongly agree. And we have a set of questions, and we would like you to, if you could just cluster in the middle for now. Yes. And then when we ask the question, you have a few seconds to quickly put yourself somewhere on the continuum here. And at the end of these several questions that we have, each candidate will have just 30 seconds to speak to any of their placement on the continuum in response to the questions. Right? Are we ready to go? Question number 1. As mayor, how likely are you to get on the dance floor at a public event? Strongly disagree? No? Or strongly agree? There you have it. There you have it.
I think, Grant, you should be down here. We've seen you on the dance floor at events. All right, how much time would you allocate in a week to respond to Palmerston North residents raising personal issues through the mayoral office? How much time would you allocate in a week to respond to Palmerston North residents raising personal issues in the mayoral office?
0 or 100? From 0 to 100. No, just kind of, it's rating, kind of.
That's your time, Lynn. This is a quick decision, guys. We'll give you an easier one, all right? That's complex. Okay, here we go.
Okay, yep, they're kind of clustered up the center of the continuum. Looking good. Next question, are you ready? How much do you agree with the Spanish women's soccer team that Palmerston North is boring?
It doesn't sound like the audience agrees with you. There's quite a mumbling going on. All right, this is a statement, okay? How much do you strongly agree? Diverse voices are currently heard and influence council decisions. It's a quick decision, guys. Come on. Diverse voices are currently heard and influence council decisions.
Currently.
It's a lot of 50s.
Right. Should Palmerston North should work more closely with neighbouring councils on regional issues?
It's the fastest one we've had so far. Settled? Happy with that? Good. How much would you prioritise stronger environmental protections, even if it slows down some development projects? We're going further up. Ooh, there's a lot of grumbling. How much would you prioritise stronger environmental protections, even if it slows down some development projects? Can I just clarify, you're around 50, the three of you? Is that where you're putting yourself? 55, 60. What? You might need to work some math, guys. Thank you.
Right, next question. To what extent do you support the roading changes that were made to Featherston Street?
Come on. Let's have some movement. Now, they have 30 seconds at the end to explain anything and talk to anything, so that might be. You both at 50, Grant and Orphe, who both voted for it? That's a 50-50? In hindsight. No? Let's try and have a buck each way. Okay. A vote one way, but a buck each way. If you become mayor and we're looking back on your life, would being mayor be your greatest achievement? There's some real indecision from almost everybody. What, Orphe and Caleb, what are we pointing ourselves at? 10, 20%? Caleb?
Right. And our final question on the scale. If you are elected mayor, how likely are you to celebrate with a run down the Lido hydro slide or the Lido's tallest diving board? Manu's
We may come for receipts if this happens, by the way.
Should we just give them the mic? You can give them the mic.
All right, do you want to take your seats, gentlemen?
Right, we will give the candidates 30 seconds each to speak to any of those questions of their choice. You get to start.
I'll just speak to all of it. We're all quite very similar, and at the end of the day, it's just about a few different ideas at the top end of our scale. But Palmerston North, we're more than the heart of the Manawatu. We're the knowledge capital of New Zealand, and with all of our ideas, we can continue moving forward with the future built on values of the past.
Was it
This is your 30-second response to anything you might have said incorrectly or correctly voted for on the stage.
Oh, all right. So
Defense, if you will.
in defense of Featherston Street. Yes, I did vote for it when it came through the council, but in hindsight, when I look back, Yes, I agree to having cycle lanes, but I think the design of the road I could have influenced that better. The design of the road could have been better. So that's one thing that I actually try to correct if I was to go back to that decision earlier on. The biggest achievement, I think, will be, graduating with a master's degree. Coming from a former refugee background, learned to read at age 11, 12, and so that was the biggest achievement for me. But being a mayor will also be up there as well, so I'm grateful.
Yep, I want to mention the Featherston Street because that's very controversial. But I think if we are going to be serious about sustainability and health and inclusiveness, we must get away with only considering people who get around on motor cars. My partner can't drive. She relies on the bus to get round, and I must say the bus service here is good. It's better than a lot of bigger cities like Tauranga, and I really think we need more public transport and active transport.
I won't go into Featherston Street because I'll take that one on the chin, and Orphe's done a reasonable job of saying we would have probably done it better if we had our time again. I just want to talk about residents that come to the Mayor's office. You've got to treat everybody as you'd want to be treated. So if somebody comes in and wants to talk about a pothole or the trimming of trees, and gosh, I've had a lot of trimming of trees just recently, you've got to take them seriously and figure it. And there's always two sides to the story too. So you don't race off to the CEO's office and say, trim that tree. You've got to understand what has gone on as well. But you've got to take every resident seriously and give them the time of day. I do meet the Mayor's sessions every week and once a month in Ashurst. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, lovely. All right, so we're back to our direct questions. Hope you've had some exercise, some enjoyment. You've all got your tickets too. Keep hold of them. So strap in, this is a longer one, gentlemen. There has been a 57% reduction in what was expected from central government in the National Land Transport Program to support Palmerston North. What other funding will you source to support the city, and if this is user pays or asset sales, please specify what they are. Michael.
It is disappointing the government has stopped Waka-Kotahi funding for things like bikes and active and public transport. The health effects will be quite considerable. I would like to get funding from developers levies. We do need to have more funding from parking. We could use that for public transport. And one thing I discovered, central government places such as hospitals don't pay rates. Now, if we could charge rates on the hospital, that would pay for the health effects of public and active transport.
Yes. Oh, sorry. It's a good question. I think one thing that we need to do is also actively lobbying central government to get the best investment deals for Palmerston North. I believe it hasn't been happening it hasn't been happening, or we haven't been doing a good job of that, because the most recent central government investment, or the biggest central government investment that we've had since 2021 was a bit of funding from Jacinda Ardern's government, which was $8 million. So we haven't been doing a good job of actually lobbying central government in that. So asset sales, definitely. It's about probably doing a review of what assets we can sell, but definitely the airport, selling some shares of the airport, and using that money to reinvest in key infrastructure will be one of the things that I would be doing. Thank you.
Great, yes, this is a very tricky question, whether we are going to sell assets or have it self-funded. We can be able to do both. It's not always, like Grant said before, it's not just one solution to an answer. It is a lot of different ideas to be able to bring forward our best options. We can't just be thinking that it's one way that's going to fix it all for all of us, because we are all different. Really have to look. If I was elected mayor, I'd really look into our asset sales and where we can and can't sell, because once we sell the assets, we're never going to get them back as a city.
We look for some, obviously advocating with government more. I mean, I don't think Orphe's quite got it right. There's been lots of investment from various governments in this city. You just need to see the Defence Forces, the hospital, a new vet hospital at Massey. There's plenty of them. But in saying with our roads and that sort of thing, yes, a regional freight ring road, we look to get a toll, perhaps a toll on the bridge. We look to get some private investment from the freight companies that will benefit from the road. And we look for government as well. So it's trying to make the best of all, local, regional, central government, and some private money as well.
Can we have the microphone down to Orfe, please? And can you have your cards up? That's one that's going to impact us all, regardless of who wins. So can we have your cards up there? What's your decision? Oh, sorry, you've all forgotten the colours, huh? Yeah, there we go. It's very hard trying to find non-political colours. Everyone's got a card, yes? Okay, quite different to a couple of answers ago, yeah? All right.
Right, next question. Palmerston North is growing, but also faces challenges like housing affordability and public transport. What are your plans to support appropriate, affordable housing and to improve transport options? We'll start with you, Orphe, thanks.
You're right. Housing is one of the key issues facing Palmerston North at the moment. And currently we are 92,000 people, or 92,000 people call Palmerston North home. And more will be coming to Palmerston North, and our city is bound to grow whether we like it or not. I think what we need to do is to partner with providers, local and external providers, to build more houses. And I believe it's an issue of supply and demand. And the role of the council should be to enable and freeing up more land to build more houses. And also around looking at the regulatory framework and also the consenting framework of the council. It's just not acceptable to have councils taking too long to approve consents. We need to make it easier for developers to build more homes. Thank you.
Orphe took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say. But it's about working with our local providers, gaining interest into our city that provides the base to start building more houses. Because if we don't have an attractive city that has working infrastructure, then we're not going to be able to have industries invest in our city. Building houses, because everybody in our city deserves a roof over their head. It doesn't matter where you come from. You should be able to live in a nice, warm, comfortable home.
In terms of the housing, Palmerston North actually is quite affordable compared to a lot of other cities. I think we're probably the second or third most affordable city in New Zealand. You just need to go and have a look at some of the other bigger cities and even some of our regional cities around us. But yes, it's the district plan. It's making sure that the planning department, I would look at an independent review of the planning department, to be really honest, that we can see how we can get on with our resource consents. I think the building inspection guys are doing a great job, but it's the planning side where we've got really stuck. Around public transport, I would keep advocating for public transport, keep advocating for the trains and the buses. We're getting closer to Wellington now, and we've got to keep them coming.
I work in a rural area where a social housing project was scuppered because of out-of-towners who thought it would lower the tone of the neighbourhood. So I don't think, for a start, we've got a housing crisis. What we have is an empty homes crisis. There are actually more empty homes in the country than there are homeless people. So I would actually advocate a ghost tax, for a start, for those who are keeping their homes empty. I don't think people who live out of town should be allowed to vote in town. The stakeholders should be residents, not people outside.
Thank you, audience. Let's cast your vote on the responses to the housing and transport question.
Okay. That looks like some interested faces there. Maybe rethinking some answers. Okay. Now, this is one we get a lot, so we're going to try and wrap it up into one big question. We're starting with Caleb this time, please. What political parties have you been connected to? What obligations do you have to them? And if not, how do you engage and lobby political parties and central government for the benefit of Palmerston North?
Well, I don't have any involvement with any political parties. I believe that local run council should be run by locals, focusing on our problems. National government, it's in the name. They should be worrying about their national effects and assets. How I would lobby is just by communication with ministers, and moving forward, just building those relationships between Palmerston North City and the Wellington Beehive, ensuring that they understand what we really need instead of having them force their policies upon us.
Had a bit of experience in this space. Look, you've got to advocate and work with the government of the day. Look, I'll be really honest, I'm a centre-right person, and but I've been embraced by the Reds and the Greens. They love me. But in all seriousness, I do have a green tinge through me. I like the environment, but I do think we've got to just work with all people. So it doesn't matter what colour they are. In fact, take your colours off as you come through the door, bring your values in, and work with everybody you can. Same in government, you've got to work with whoever's in power and advocate for the best features for Palmerston North.
Cool. Yes, I've got political affiliation. I'm a proud member of the National Party, and that was Lorna Johnson. So, proud member of the National Party, but I'm standing as an independent because I'm not beholden to the political party. Or I believe that as an independent, being an independent doesn't mean that you do not have political leanings. It simply means that you're not beholden to a political party, and you can work alongside other governments and work with governments of any political stripes to get the best investment deals for Palmerston North. And I believe we haven't been getting the best deals from central government as of late. Thank you.
Kia ora, I'm the founder of the Animal Justice Party, but no longer a member. I'm a present member of the Green Party, but I'm not endorsed by the Green Party, and nor did I ask for endorsement. This government is blaming councils for everything. Yeah, well, councils are not alone in that. They've also been blaming Maori and poor people, and I think we should just ignore them because it's dog whistle politics to cover up their own economic ineptitude.
Right. Thank you. We are going to go on to our next quick-fire answers. So, candidates, if you wouldn't mind standing up with your 2 cards, and they have a big yes. Let's have a little practice, candidates. Show us your yes. Okay, that's the yes. And they have a big no. One at a time, Orphy. No, right. Okay, so I'm going to say a question, and they're going to give you their answer. We're going to go through the questions, and at the end, they've just got 30 seconds to speak to any of their responses. First up, Stefan.
Did you ever eat at McDonald's on the square? Did you ever eat at the McDonald's on the square?
If you know, you know. Right, have we all got our answers? Right. Do you support maintaining the Māori ward for Palmerston North?
All right. Should Palmerston North commit to being carbon neutral by 2030? 2030.
Okay. Do we need to improve civil defence readiness within Palmerston North?
Should the council focus more on supporting local small businesses over attracting large corporations? This is a yes, no, not a 50-50.
Good answers. Do you support the expansion of cycle lanes and pedestrian zones in Palmerston North?
That's a... We need a middle. We need a yes or a no. We would have given you a middle if we had given you a... Now this one goes by many names. Did you ever visit the Santa Cave at Farmers, PDC or Collinson's in Cunningham? Did you ever visit the Santa Cave at Farmers, previously PDC, previously Collinson's and Cunningham's? No?
You probably wouldn't have been born. Have we got our answers? Right.
Confusion.
Okay. Would you support a bylaw for compulsory de-sexing of dogs?
Some people are saying yes, but sort of doing this with their head. I like that. There's a bit of... Okay. Do you think the current rate of city development is sustainable over the next decade?
Should the council adopt more digital tools to simplify public interactions and services?
Had too many yes answers, didn't we? Should council introduce more user pay systems to relieve pressure on rates for all taxpayers? Yes!
Have you been down Palmy's longest flying fox at Linklater Reserve?
Some surprise, I think, from the audience there. Do you think the current council has done enough to engage with youth and diverse communities? It's a yes or no question.
Will you support policies to restrict urban sprawl to protect surrounding natural areas?
Right. Do you support maintaining or increasing the council's budgets for parks and recreational facilities? That is, support maintaining or increasing. Do you support maintaining or increasing the council's budgets for parks and recreational facilities?
Will you advocate for improved infrastructure to better handle future population growth?
You agree on far too many things, gentlemen, to be competitive, I think. Do you want to take a seat? We'll give them a round of applause. We're going to start with Grant this time for your 30-second rebuttal/defence or whatever you may need to mount.
I think we're blessed with our parks and reserves in Palmerston North. We have hopefully a 6-star premier park in the Esplanade, our botanical gardens. It's currently a 5-star. Not many have got that rating. And we've got to, and I've just been up to Linklater. Obviously the dogs, there's a bit of an issue there around dogs. That's 77 acres, that park. And the Linklater's family was part of their old farm. So we're lucky with our parks and our playgrounds. And as Stefan said, he brings his kids and he's on different playgrounds all over Palmerston North. And we've got the biggest tree canopy of any regional city in New Zealand. We've just got to look after them.
I'd just like to touch on the investing in our storm readiness. So natural disaster is our #1 threat to our city, Palmerston North. And we need to invest in our infrastructure to be ready for when that next storm comes, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if we're not ready, then we're going to be getting flooding and natural disasters hitting us. Yeah, so investing in that would be good.
Thank you. I'm very much in support of user pays in order to alleviate the rate burden on ratepayers. I think Palmerston North is increasingly becoming unaffordable for a lot of families, businesses, and also residents on fixed income. And I don't believe that the council is doing enough to ease the rate burden on ratepayers at the moment. And more needs to be done to alleviate that pressure by diversifying our income streams or revenue streams, and also introducing targeted user pays for non-essential services so that we can alleviate the cost pressures on ratepayers. And also, especially also around city growth, to accommodate city growth. Palmerston is growing, and we need to be able to be smart about where we grow and how we grow in order to accommodate that growth.
The bell, thank you.
When talking about parks and reserves, as the animal candidate, I would support keeping the off-leash area in Linklater Park. And I also would support reserves being there for everyone. So, for instance, things like golf courses, I think we have to have a good hard look at them. How much are they actually allowing all the community to participate, or is it just for an elite few?
Okay. Yes. We've got 2 questions left. These are the direct questions. We're going to do a little bit of cheekiness with the slide. We can start with you, Michael. Palmerston North has just joined Horowhenua and Rangitikei councils to form a council-controlled organisation, a CCO, to manage our water care needs about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. how will you make sure that Palmerston North's unique needs are met in this three-way council-controlled organisation? You have 30 seconds.
It's a tricky organisation because it's not contiguous. You've got Manawatu in the middle. And one thing that I would like to see is the river, the Wangehu River, which is Te Waiu o Te Ika and sacred to Ngāti Rangi, needs to be considered in this, even though it's a long way from Palmerston North. So I think Palmerston North does need to make sure that even though it's not within their catchment, that they are part of this.
I support local water done well as it currently is, and I think the ratepayers actually stand to benefit quite a lot in the long run. That means you pay less rates when it comes to water infrastructure in the future, and also we get more borrowing room in order to invest also in infrastructure by being part of the of a regional CCO for this central government project. But I think one thing that I'll probably also do is about not losing our voice when we make up the governance structure of that entity, making sure that residents' voices are reflected in those decision making.
I believe partnering with the other councils is a very good point. It alleviates a lot of the stress from our council that we can rely on each other to move forward. But I think that Palmerston North has been doing quite well with our portable water. I drink out of the tap and I seem quite fine. And it is, like, that's one of the main things that council need to be working on, is ensuring that all of our water is good, that we can drink. So yeah, teaming up, it's always better to bring everyone up together instead of trying to go forward on our own.
Yeah, there's definitely scale. Scale does matter in infrastructure. And so the waters entity that we've created with Rangitike and Horowhenua, yes, Manawatu aren't in there at the moment, but you know, it's been good to get some scale. I do think, though, ways we can influence it is with the statement of intent. When you have a CCO or a council-controlled organisation, you instruct the benefits for the city in the statement of intent. So we clearly write in there about the wastewater plant, making sure that's affordable and sustainable. So that's how we do it.
Okay, hold on to the microphone. Our very last question, and you only have 10 to 15 seconds max. If you had to cut one council project or non-essential budget line item, what would it be?
Okay, all right. Well, our catering budget.
I believe like all cosmetic feel-good projects that we have installed need to be paused and really focus on our three mains: our roads, our waters, and our waste. So yeah, anything.
That's a very hard one to actually pinpoint, because everything that gets onto the long-term budget or annual budget is actually worthy, because you know a lot of communities have expressed interest in that. But I think there are other things that need to be reviewed. For example, Arena 5 development, which is a lot of money being invested into it as well. That needs to be pruned back and pegged back a little bit as well. So there are many projects that can go.
The race course. Greyhound racing is on its way out. Horse racing should be next. The race course could be used instead for a drainage reserve, for housing, for biodiversity, or even selling it, but not for animal cruelty.
Audience, please rate the responses. How would you vote for those responses? Right, we have come to the end, and we are going to just give 30 seconds rather than 1 minute, candidates, because we're short of time. 30 seconds each to just round off a final statement from you. And shall we start with, let's start with Orphe.
Well, thank you so much for coming out tonight. My name is Orphe Coloured. I've been able to serve you on the council for the past 4.5 years, and I would love to get your ongoing support. I've had experience in governance, which stands me in good stead to lead our city into the future. I'm also solution-oriented. I believe that we should do the best to ensure that we actually get the best outcomes of Palmerston North. And I believe that local government should be about improving residents' lifestyles. And that's what I'll be willing to do. Should I become mayor, I'll be willing to work with stakeholders to ensure that we get the best outcomes for Palmerston North and to move a beautiful and stunning city into the future. Let me be your voice. Thank you.
Ngā mihi nui kia koutou. Thank you for coming out tonight and hearing what four of us candidates have to say. I know many of our opinions are quite similar and it's hard to decide which way you're going to go on the vote. But a vote for Caleb Riddick is a vote for common sense leadership with the ability to view all situations unbiasedly, taking us forward with the future. We don't need a hard turn, we just need a slightly altered course and continue moving forward. Like I said, Palmerston North, we are the heart of the Manawatu, but we're the knowledge capital of New Zealand. And with all of our ideas, we can move forward and make Palmy proud again.
Thank you, Caleb. I thought you were going to say, make Palmy great again. That's cool. Look, I just want to, the biggest thing facing us is two things, actually, is the wastewater plant. So we do need to get on top of that. Not many have talked about that, and it is a big ticket item. So we've got to make sure it's affordable for everybody. Working with our partners in the water entity will certainly help. The funding and financing tools that are available now will make it easier for us. But it's still a big ticket item, so we've got to sort that out. The other one is earthquake-prone buildings in the middle of our city. So we do need to look on how we can do that. I'd like to think how we could get some private partnership involved to possibly look at a new Tamanua and possibly some of our other earthquake-prone buildings. But look, I have the independence and the leadership skills to do that. So vote Grant Smith for Mayor. Thank you.
Kia ora. If we're talking about the biggest challenges, I actually think one of the biggest is inequality. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. I advocate for animals and the environment, but they're all related. Equal societies are more trusting, tend to look after their environment better, tend to look after animals better. So I would actually support a more equitable rating system so that those with more, who can afford more, pay more, those who can afford less, pay less.
That's it for this evening, so we'll invite Todd up to say karakia and close our service. But before we do that, we do have some information which you should know. What exactly are we voting for? Shouldn't be a shock to anyone, I hope. And we'll put these details up when we're finished, so you can look at that in your own time. Equally, how to vote. You should already have received your mailers in the post boxes recently. If you have not, contact the council. We can talk about it. But all of this is available on the public council information site as well.
We just want to say thank you so much for coming out this evening on this beautiful spring evening here in Palmerston North. Let's give our candidates a round of applause. Thank you so much, candidates. And we'll ask Todd to come forward.
And while acknowledging everyone who's made tonight run well and run smoothly, could we have a round of applause for Tracy and Stefan for their wonderful facilitation? And of course to our candidates, thank you for the manner in which you've sort of expressed your enthusiasm, commitment, your knowledge, and your leadership. And while only one of these four candidates will ultimately be successful in becoming mayor, maybe there's a few others like me who would encourage all the others to continue to lead in the sectors and the communities on the issues that you're enthusiastic about. You've done a great job in expressing the genuineness, the earnestness that you all have, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the campaign. Nō reira, he karakia whakakape, kia tauna manaakitanga te wahinaro, ki runga ki tēnā o mātou. Kia mahia te hua mai kihiki, kia toi te kupu, toi te mana, toi te mauri, toi te aroha. Kia tūtura te whakamaua, kia tīna, haumie, huie, taiki. Good evening, everybody. Kia ora tata.
see, won't we, later? That's the thing. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Be reasonably speaking, aren't they?
Well done, Stefan.
Thank you. Well done for the last week.
Yeah, we did.
We're due for a
Good
coffee.
fun.
It's not for a week, give you some break. But otherwise,
Yeah, I'm
good.
off to Tauranga on Sunday morning.
Thank you, Stefan. That was very good.
You got some questions you're happy with?
Oh,
Something
I
you
didn't
agree
really
with?
expect any of them. So like, just react and
Move away from the mic, otherwise.
Good to get into the point, eh?
I didn't mention anything